Hello, my name's Tom Thompson, and together with my wife Leslie, we're going to be moving to Croydon in March of this year, 2013, in order to start a new church, Croydon Vineyard. And we just want to give you a little bit of a story, a little bit of a background as to why we're doing that. Some people, and maybe they're right, think that we're crazy. I've got a great job. I've got a job that I love. I've got a job that I've been doing, a well-paid job, and I'm giving that up. We've got a house that Kirsty and Phil on location would probably call your forever house. When we moved into it, we thought, great, we're never going to move house again. This is where we're going to be forever. It's a lovely house, but we're selling it. And we've got 3 boys, soon to have another boy. 4th boy is due in February. But the 3 boys at the moment, 2 of them go to a little primary school right at the end of our road that they love. They get on well with their teachers, they get great reports from their teachers, they've got some good friends from there. We're taking them out of the school. We've got some fantastic friends around here. Each day as we walk around the high street or wander around, going to work and meeting people for coffee, we've got many great friends, we've got family close by. It's magnificent being here, and yet we are giving all that stuff up in order to come to Croydon to plant a church. I just want to explain why. Nothing to do with how great we are or what we're giving up. It's not that at all. It's just we want to give you a sense of how great we think Jesus is and why we do this. Because ultimately we're moving to Croydon because we think Jesus has asked us to. Why on earth would we do that? Why on earth would we choose to give up that stuff because Jesus has asked us to do it? Well, let me explain with a bit of the Bible. There's this story in Ezekiel, the crazy, almost insane prophet Ezekiel, who God spoke to in many bizarre and crazy ways. And one way God spoke to him was he said, imagine a young girl who's abandoned and left in the desert, and she's dying, she's kind of got no food, no water, no provision, she's lying in the desert. And then a nobleman, a king, walks past one day and sees her there and takes pity on her, and he picks her up and he says, come on, you come into my family, you come into the palace with me. And he adorns her with robes, and he gives her great jewellery, and he gives her wonderful food, the richest food, and she has the greatest care. She has servants to look after her day after day. And this girl who should have died in the desert actually grows up in the riches and the splendour and the luxury of the palace. But God says to Ezekiel, that's not where the story ends. Because when this girl gets to age 18, the king who has looked after her says, now you will become a wife. You will become my wife. I will love you forever. I will care for you. Never will I leave you. Never will I forsake you. And the wife takes the wedding gifts, and she takes the jewellery that the king's given her. And she wanders off into town to sleep with every man, every beggar, every tourist who crosses in. She offers herself to them, and more than that, she pays them. She pays them to sleep with her. She pays them the gifts that the king had given her. She gives away all the riches. She gives away all the luxury. Why would she do that? Why would she do that? Well, Ezekiel says, because that is the way of human beings. That is what Israel has done to God. And when I hear that story, I know that is me. I'm that girl. I've not gone off and slept with lots of people who aren't my wife. In fact, I've not even slept with my wife. Only joking. Joking. I love sleeping with my wife. The Song of Solomon's, some of those scriptures, claim them every week. Yeah. But anyway, what was I saying? Why are we planting this church? Because we know we may not physically have committed adultery, but spiritually we've seen what God's given us. He made us, He gave us these bodies, He gave me this body, and I chose to use that stuff for my own ends. I chose not to listen to people He put in my way. I chose to believe myself to be better than anybody. I chose to be arrogant. I chose to dismiss people because I didn't like the look of them. I chose to insult people because I thought they were fat, or because I thought they were stupid, or because I thought that they just weren't good enough for me. I chose to look at God and believe that what He said and what He did was actually inferior to my own logic and what I thought. So I chose to walk away from him, and I found myself stuck alone, feeling cut off from people, without living fine, with a reasonable job and doing all right, but really at the core of my being I felt empty. And in that place, I'm going to use some of my kids' toys now. In that place, God came to me, and it's like he kind of, imagine this was me, imagine this little guy was me. He came to me, and I'm stuck in a pit of my own making, and he says, no, I'm going to lift you off that pit, and I'm going to place you on this rock. There's a verse in the Psalms that says, put you on a rock that's higher than I. And he says, I'm going to place you on that rock, out of that pit that you made yourself. I'm going to come and seek you out. But the Bible, it's not just that he sought me out. He didn't just seek me out and say hi once he found me. Once he found me, he said, I'm going to offer you. It's like he popped around for the evening and said, here, here's a great meal. I'm going to look after you. Tell me, where's it hurt? What's the problem? So he didn't just come and find me, but when he came to find me, he offered himself to me. He said, what can I do for you? How can I help you? What provision can I make for you? And he didn't just do that. He didn't just come and seek me out and find me in that pit. He didn't just offer himself to me, but he said, I'm going to offer myself to you forever. I'm not just going to pop around one night, every day, every morning. I'm going to come and I'm going to be here for you as well. So now, not only no longer in that pit, but on another huge block of grace that he's given me. And not only did he seek me out, not only did he offer himself to me, not only did he say he would offer himself to me every moment of every day, but also he said that he would change me. He would stop me from the destructive processes and patterns that I have. He would make me into a person who was free, more like the person he's made me to be. He'd give me a life and a future and a hope. He'd change my heart to a heart that's his. You can't even see me now, can you? Look, there I am, right at the top. That is what Jesus has done for me. And I tell you, sat on the top of these huge provisions, compared to in the pit, the view is amazing. The view is amazing. And if Jesus has done that for me, if Jesus has lifted me out of the mess I'd made of my life and given me an amazing perspective on the world, full of joy and hope, then surely when he says to me, when he says to Leslie, my wife, and I, go to Croydon, plant a vineyard church, there's no question that that's going to be good. There's no question that's a good thing for us, because Jesus has said it, and Jesus has shown himself to be for us and to love us. And so maybe as you listen to this, you think, yeah, God's maybe been speaking to me. Maybe Jesus wants to offer things to me. And if he does, why don't you get in touch? We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to get to know you. You can send us an email, tom@croydonvineyard.org.uk, or you can check out our website, www.croydonvineyard.org.uk. The website's not quite up and running. It will be up and running in the next week or so. We'd love to get to know you.